I've been getting a few questions lately about procrastination, career, manifestation, how the next few years look like for me. And instead of rushing answers on the stories, I wanted to sit down properly and talk about them with my skincare routine, my journaling, and a warm cup of hot chocolate. So, this isn't an advice from someone who has figured it all out. It's just me sharing what's been working for me in the middle of figuring things out for myself. You don't have to watch it. You can just listen it while you're working or cooking or driving. So, yes, let's get started. This is probably the question I get asked the most, and honestly, I still procrastinate sometimes. So, especially on the days when all I want is to stay in my comfort zone, not to think too much. But I have realized something important that consistency matters the most when you feel like you just don't want to show up. It is the time when consistency is actually needed. So there are three anti-procrastination methods that genuinely help me to stay on the track. The first one is the most common 2-minute rule, and if something takes 2 to 5 minutes according to me, I try to do it immediately instead of postponing it. For example, like there are tons of mails, but you can finish off the ones which are having more priority, or updating a document, or probably just opening a notes that I have been avoiding lately. The second thing I do is breaking tasks down a lot. Sometimes the work itself isn't hard, but looking at it as one big thing makes it really overwhelming. And psychologically, when something feels overwhelming, our brains just starts to avoid it. So instead of saying I have to finish this one big task or one entire task, I divide it into smaller, very specific steps. Smaller, like according to me, smaller tasks feel lighter, more doable, and the doable tasks actually get done. I have been doing this for a year, I guess, and I do realize that at least the important tasks are getting checked off my list, and it is a sign of productivity. Now, the second question, what are my plans for 2026? Well, to be really honest, I see my next few years revolving strongly around academics. There are projects, applications, long term goals I'm working towards. At the same time, I am very conscious about not making my life only about my work. I want my 2026 to feel balanced with dedication, growth, and also time for myself, which is really important. I'm slowly planning things out, and I'll be sharing that journey as it unfolds on Instagram, or if I get much time, I would love to share it on the YouTube as well. Not everything has to be rushed, but yes, something is a good intention, attention, and we should give them some time. Now, the third question, what are my career plans? So, right now I'm a final year student in computer engineering, and I'm hoping to pursue a master's program in the near future. At this stage, I'm not forcing myself into one single field. I'm still exploring different niches, and I think that's more important. Exploration helps you understand what actually aligns with you instead of choosing something just because it sounds safe or impressive. I believe that building a strong foundation matters more than rushing into clarity. And I guess I am allowing myself that space. Let's move on to the fourth question. Well, the question is, which affirmations and manifestation techniques do I use right now? According to me, manifestation is something I approach very realistically, and I do believe in the law of attraction. But yes, I also believe it works best when it is paired with action and self awareness. On the mornings when I wake up tired or overwhelmed, I take a few moments and sit quietly and meditate. It helps me calm my thoughts and untangle overthinking before the day begins, which is really a blessing for me in the morning. Now, there is a simple journaling affirmation method which I use at the end of my day. I would take out my diary and write how I felt during the day, 2 to 3 good or challenging moments, a small gratitude list, and then a few affirmation lists that align with what I am going to do with my life forward. And this process helps my emotions, like it helps me to process my emotions instead of carrying them to the next day, which I think is a very toxic trait for self-love. And when I'm talking about manifestations and affirmations, there are a few things which I would like to mention which one should avoid. So there are two things that I consciously avoid. Number one is toxic positivity, like pretending everything is fine and doesn't need a rewire in your brain. Well, girl, you have to get the reality check. I mean, you have to acknowledge your emotions. The another example is to accept the toxic environment, like to have friends who have negative energy, or the ones who are not good for your growth, or the ones constantly giving you advices for what you should do, what you should not do, and just not giving you enough space for your life. So it is really important to cut them off your life, or just engage a little bit lesser, because with all those chaos you cannot be processing your life throughout or getting clear thoughts. Now, the second is manifestation without action. Now, science shows that repetition works when it's paired with behavior. Visualization alone isn't enough for growth. Movement matters. For example, if you're creating various visual boards or manifestations or journaling at the end of the day, or just writing all those affirmations, well, that is not going to work. You'll have to act upon it, because alone writing would not be the step towards your goal. So, yes, actions and movements do matter. If you want a detailed list of affirmations that I personally use, you can DM me on Instagram and I'll share it with you. That's all for today. If any part of this has helped you, I'm really glad that you're here and you made it till the end of the video. So, I would only say one thing: take what resonates and leave the rest. I'll be sharing more about growth, routines, career, and mindset. So, you can follow me here on YouTube and on Instagram as well if you are ready for some daily reminders. So, yes, see you then. Have a great day, and I hope I cleared all your doubts and all your questions. So, yeah, bye bye then.